we are through with the first leg of matches for the UCL semi-finals, and it was as we expected. Top class performances from the teams, and I mean some individual players as well. We saw a very tight contest at the Allianz Arena between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. And at the Signal Iduna Park, we saw Fulkrug also give us a very fantastic goal on the left foot, which actually gave the black and yellows the win in there. This is a huge advantage for them as we go into the second leg, which comes off this week. Yes, but before we go into today's analysis, let me quickly introduce my guest. Interestingly, we are joined here by Bruno, our expert analyst for the day. Bruno, he's been on the show for quite a while. Yes, so right now we'll zoom into the second leg matches. It beckons. It's actually happening this weekend. All the teams are anticipating, all the fans are anticipating which teams are going to go through to the final, which will happen at the Wembley. So without much ado, let me quickly move to my brother here and then hear his thoughts concerning the match that came off between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid at the Allianz Arena.
All right, so thank you very much once again. And we want to use this opportunity to welcome our viewers that they should continue to support the family, the football lovers. They should continue to subscribe and share.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. As you rightly said, so last week we experienced a very interesting match. As you all expected, we know both sides are, attacking kind of team. They play attacking football.
Yeah.
So we're expecting a lot of goals. Despite it's the semi-finals, we were seeing it to be a very interesting match whereby, both sides will be very tactical. And it happened the same way as we expected, as Real Madrid went to the Allianz Arena and had a draw there, which is an advantage for the team.
A huge advantage.
Yes, an advantage for the team. So we're expecting a very interesting return leg that will come off this weekend at the Santiago Bernabau. Real Madrid, when they are playing at home, it is a very important match for them. And you see the fans also trooping in their numbers. So this weekend we are expecting a very tough match, interesting match. I know the White Angels will come in their numbers to support their fans, and I know the players too are very prepared to knock Bayern Munich out.
Yeah. So we are delving into the analysis of the first leg. It was an interesting fixture by all standard, top class performance. Like we told you, it is an European classic. And going into this match, we mentioned that Real Madrid is the favorite of the remaining teams in the Champions League, and we are hoping that they will win. But the team that's going to give them a very tough match or a challenge would be Bayern Munich. But looking at the way, what a poor season Bayern Munich has had, we were thinking that would they be, we are quite skeptical about it if they will be able to give, Real Madrid a top class performance or even a challenge at all. And I should say they did a yeoman's job, didn't they?
Yeah, sure. As you rightly said, they did a yeoman's job, because you realize this season Bayern Munich has suffered a lot in their home grounds.
Yeah.
They have lost a lot of matches.
Yeah.
But going into this semi-finals against Real Madrid, we all know the form that Madrid is having this season.
Yeah.
They are currently on top of the La Liga, and they are putting up a very huge performance. So we were expecting that probably it will be just a walkover for Real Madrid. But Bayern Munich also came to the party with a very tough challenge to prove themselves. That's why they had the league. After Madrid took the league in the first half, they came back in the second half to have the 2 goals.
Yeah.
That made it 2-1. But Real Madrid, they are champions of the game. They came back to equalize, making it 2-2.
So let's talk about the goal. The first half saw a very beautiful goal from Vinicius. Sure. And what was even more beautiful was the pass that actually set up that goal. And you could see that right from the beginning of the match, Bayern Munich put up a very intense press on Real Madrid, even getting an attempt on goal very early in the game, about 45 seconds into the game, a very fantastic one. Only lunin was up to the task and was able to save that one. But going into progressing in the first half, Madrid came into the game, and with their counter attack, they were able to punish Bayern Munich with that fantastic goal. But when they came back from the second half, we saw complete difference. At least for the first 15 to 30 minutes of the second half, we saw some changes from the coach's side that actually impacted the game. and then Bayern Munich was able to turn the game over. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so as you rightly said, I had a little problem with defense of Bayern Munich during the first half.
Okay.
When you're playing against Real Madrid, you look at their forward lineup, Vinicius,
Yeah.
Rodrygo. These two guys, they are very sharp. They have the space, so you cannot, open up for them.
Yeah.
So you realize the first goal, the true pass that came from Toni Kroos. You realize Kim and Dia,
Yeah.
they came forward and they opened a space for Vinicius.
Yeah.
And Vinicius is a very, when it comes to speed, he has the pace.
Very, very
it's
swift.
very fast.
Yeah.
So when Kroos gave that true pass, he was there before they realized it was a goal.
That was
so
a very
you don't have to
fantastic
open
finish
up
as
for
well.
such a player.
Yeah.
You always have to be on him. That was what caused them in the first.
Right. So yes, if you could see that was actually what caused them. Another problem was I think the introduction of Kim, because Kimmich has not really been the starting player in there. Bayern had some injuries in the back lineup, and that was why they introduced him, and he was the one that caused them both goals, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Kim was the one who caused them both goals, as you rightly said. So you realize the first goal that Vinicius scored, it was Kim. He opened up too much space for him. So when the ball came, nobody was there to challenge him. They just have to rush, get the ball, then bank in the goals.
Right. The second half, we saw goals from Sane and Hurricane. Very fantastic run from Sane to, putting that shot. Powerful shot, which went past Andre Lunin, and we had the equalizer in the second half. And then few minutes later, we also had another penalty, largely due to the tactical changes that the coach made in there.
Yeah. So, as you said, it's very true. Bayern Munich, when they went for the first half, I'm sure the coach, Titi gave them a lot of talks, inspired the players. So when they came back, you realize in the second half, the first 15 minutes, they pressed a lot.
Yeah.
So they had the equalizer and another goal.
Yeah.
So which means that the players, they realized that at least, maybe during the first half, they thought Madrid can just walk over them, but they realize they can prove themselves. So after getting the equalizer, they continue to press. So you realize they dominated the position. They had a lot of chances. It is because Bayern Munich didn't take their chances. They would have, win that match. It would have been a defense call. Yes, but they didn't take their chances. So that was what happened.
Right. So I'll also say Real Madrid also defended very well. I mean, there were a lot of good chances that Bayern Munich should have actually capitalized on it and then sealed their win. Or settled their qualification into the final. But unfortunately, Madrid was also up to the task, and they didn't allow any more goals. And even in the latter part of the game, Madrid is Madrid. They are always able to come up with magic in the latter part of the game, and they did it this time too, with Vinicius converting that penalty. Talk of composure. Play the penalty at this critical stage of the competition, where if he had missed it, then that would have been a huge loss for Madrid, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. So Vinicius, he has been on the big stage.
Yeah.
He has faced, professionals, top class goalkeepers.
Players,
So he has the character and the composure.
And he's more like the poster boy now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. In the Champions League, I would say he's taking it from Bellingham.
Yeah, very sure. That one, there are no two ways.
Yeah.
He's now the man of the moment.
Yeah.
So you realize he was the one who even created, started the play that caused the penalty.
Yeah.
And the penalty too, it took his time. Playing a penalty against goalkeeper like Neuer, you need a lot of courage and character.
Confidence.
Yes.
Take tall, Yeah.
But he was able to, bang it so easily, giving them the equalizer to make it 2-2.
Right. So, switching from Bayern Munich to Madrid, we also saw Toni Kroos. I was going to talk about him with that fantastic pass to set up the first goal. In the second half, Modric also came in, and we saw some similar passes from him as well. These two players, you would say they are old in this young, fantastic team, though, but they still play a very crucial role in there, don't they?
Yeah, very sure they do. Because you realize Toni Kroos, despite, as you said, Kroos and Modric, they have been in the team for so long. They have had the experience, and you realize now most of Madrid, their matches, they don't start Luka Modric because probably of the age. But anytime he comes in, no matter how the time, he will be able to prove himself. So when he came into the match in the second half, he gave a similar pass
Yeah,
as Toni
yeah,
Kroos gave.
yeah,
So
yeah.
these players, you cannot just write
They
them
have
off.
the
They have
quality.
the experience.
Yeah,
Despite their age, they
yeah.
can still do the magic.
Yeah, right. So these two players will be looking to probably leave the side at the end of the season, and their future isn't decided yet. So we wait to see what happens on that one, right? So Vinicius might have had an excellent game there, and the true relevance of his equalizer will probably come in the second leg, which comes off at the Santiago Bernabau. So without wasting much time, let's quickly delve in there and then do a preview of the upcoming match on Wednesday, right? So this is a match that has gathered a lot of interest from all circles of football, and as you can tell, it is the biggest at the semi-final stage, more like a final before a final. After the match, Ancelotti came out to say that his players didn't really put up the best version of performance from he didn't see the best version of performance from his players, and going to the Bernabeu, they'll be looking to put on the best performance, the top class performance that is befitting of Madrid, and that is, I would say, wahala for Bayern Munich, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sure. So as you rightly said, I will say that Ancelotti is in a way he's true of what he said.
Yeah,
Because we know Bayern Munich this season hasn't been on top form.
exactly.
So it was just like everybody was expecting that it would be a walkover for Real Madrid, but it didn't happen that way. It didn't happen that way. So if Ancelotti said that, I will in a way agree with him. But going into the second leg, it is going to be a match. Right now the Champions League, this away goal is no more included anymore.
Counting,
so it will be like just a match, a kickoff match.
Yeah, a one-off match.
A one-off match.
Yeah.
So this one, the moment you win, you are through to the finals.
Exactly.
So I know definitely Real Madrid too are prepared to playing in their home with the fans coming in to support.
Yeah.
Do not disappoint. Do not want to disappoint their fans. Definitely the players are motivated, high spirits, and it is going to be a match that everybody would like to watch.
To see, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So both managers, we would say, are very good tactically, and we saw that in the first leg where Ancelotti put up some very good performance in the first half, and then Tuchel came in the second half to cancel out the lead, take another lead. Ancelotti coming out to also cancel the lead, and we would want to see similar performance in the match at Bernabeu. So going into the tactics both managers will employ at the second leg, what do you think will happen, and what are we to expect?
All right, so you realize during the first leg, Real Madrid, they went into their match with the 4-3-1-2 information, whereby we had Rodrygo and Vinicius leading the attack with Jude Bellingham playing behind them. Definitely they will start the same information at their home ground, because you realize this season they have been playing similar formation, whereby you see Rodrygo and Vinicius leading the attack. And this season too, let us applaud Rodrygo. He has been very instrumental. He has the pace, he has the speed. So going into this second match, definitely the coach will line up the team in the same way, whereby we have Jude Bellingham, Rodrygo, and Vinicius leading the attack. Before the first leg, I've seen Vinicius throughout the group stages. In most of the matches, if he doesn't score, he will probably provide an assist.
Okay.
So he was a target man for that match, and he proved himself. He won the man of the match. And going to the second leg, I'm sure he's so much motivated, and he wants to playing in the front of the fans. He wants to prove himself and score a goal, taking them to the final. Probably some of them might have won the Champions League before, but this time around probably they will all come together and say that let's do it for Jude Bellingham.
All right.
That will be the voice.
Right. So the boys will be wanting to actually do it for Jude Bellingham, and of course it will be very interesting to see him win the Champions League after what an inspiration he's been for the Madrid side. Right. So you spoke of Jude Bellingham and Vinicius already. Let's look at other top players that we would expect to impact the game. Of course, this is a big game, and you need players to actually rise to the occasion. We saw that of Sane, Musiala in the first leg, and in this second leg, which players are we to look out for?
So as you rightly said, when we come to Team Bayern Munich during the first league, Musiala was very instrumental. But one
Exactly.
problem I have with Musiala is he's not. I mean, he can do the take-ons, but the last finishing,
Yeah.
like we saw him when he started, Musiala when he started, he was scoring goals. But
Yeah.
it's like this season we have not seen much of his scoring abilities.
Abilities. Yeah.
So I would like to see more of that in the second league. You should try and shoot balls at the post. The
Yeah.
take-ons, when you do a lot of take-ons and you don't score goal, it doesn't add up to anything. So you should try and take-ons after take-ons, you should try and be shooting.
All
Because in the first league, we don't see much of him shooting at
Yeah.
goal. He
Yeah.
was doing the take-ons, but the shooting wasn't. But
Yeah.
and player like Harry Kane, we all know him.
Yeah.
Harry Kane, you cannot
Okay.
write him off. When you give him the chance, he will score you. So I know the defense. So during the first league, you realize Rodrygo and Fernandez, they were very careful about Harry
Exactly.
Kane. The
Exactly.
moment you go to
Very,
him
very
with a
good.
lot of force, you might cause a penalty.
Yeah.
So they were so disciplined. The defense of Madrid was so disciplined against players like Harry Kane, as I
Yeah.
rightly said. So probably in the second league, let us look out for players like Musiala, Harry Kane, and Sane. Probably they might bring something to the table.
All right. So still talking about Harry Kane. I mean, he's on top form this season. He has 35 goals in the how do you call it, the Bundesliga, and likely to win the European Golden Boot. I mean, those chasing him are I think Haaland and Mbappe, but they are still in the 20s, and so we don't expect them to overtake with the number of matches left. So he's likely to win the European Golden Boot. And then the Champions League is also on 8 goals with Mbappe, and if he should produce goals in this second leg, then he's likely to walk away with the Golden Boot in the UCL as well. And after that, if they're able to even go ahead and win the Champions League, then that positions him very well for the Ballon d'Or this season, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. So Harry Kane, before he joined Bayern Munich, most people were thinking he might struggle because of where he's coming from.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen that way. We saw him in England with Tottenham scoring a lot of goals for them. But going to Bayern Munich, we thought because of their style of play, he might struggle. But I've come to realize that they have built the team around him, whereby from every angle they are able to direct the ball to him to score. And anytime he gets the opportunity,
he also involves himself in the
build-up. You mostly see him coming back to join the midfield, getting the ball and. Yes, so that was what he was doing at Tottenham before joining. So probably that has added up to his ability, making him score much goals going to Bayern Munich.
Right. So yes, as the two teams go head to head in this absolute classic, Real Madrid will be looking to pick up their 15th, which is a record, 15th UCL title. Bayern Munich would also be looking to salvage a trophyless season by winning the Champions League. And of course, for Harry Kane, it would be something very interesting on the side, as it wouldn't be only his first major trophy or competitive trophy, but it will also give him a very good chance to win the Ballon d'Or, especially with the Euros also beckoning. And we will look to see such a performance from him. So yes, this will be an absolute thriller. And I'm sure definitely Real Madrid will want to close the stadium this time as well, like they did in the quarterfinals against Man City, so that you could hear that thunderous noise from the fans in there, and that should give the players a boost, enough motivation to win it there. But of course, this is a game against two giants, and anyone can carry it away. So we wait to see what happens there and who progresses to the final at Wembley. At the end of the show, we will definitely come back to you to give you the detailed analysis of everything that happened. So yes, we will bring the first segment of the show to an end here. And then in the second segment, we bring you a preview of the match between PSG and Dortmund at the Parc de France.